Hey guys, welcome back to another light side hero guide. Today we are going to be covering the aggressive hero that is Luke Skywalker. We'll be going over his stats, health, weapon and stamina, then abilities with their stats and keynotes. Next, Luke in Trooper game modes with tips, star cards and best maps. Then finally Luke in hero game modes with tips, star cards and heroes to watch out for. As you can see, I'm going to be going into a lot of detail in this video, so if you're only interested in certain parts of the video, then you can skip ahead by looking at the timestamps on the scroll bar. Lastly, if you guys enjoy this video, then leave a like. I would also appreciate it if you guys subscribed to help me out and so you can see more videos just like this. Most of you guys aren't subscribed, so it would be great to get those numbers up. But now, getting into the video. Luke is a hero with strong and weak stats. He's a bit weak on health, but his damage counters that and keeps Luke strong. Luke has the average lightsaber health of 750, but a smaller health regen of 200, which means Luke has to be very careful about where he is since he will lose health so quickly. The great thing about Luke though is the fact that he has a regen delay of 2.7 seconds, which is much shorter than any other hero and allows Luke to constantly be going back into enemies and be safe from more constant damage. This fits in with his aggressive playstyle along with his damage and abilities. Luke uses Anakin's and his own lightsaber that he created himself for his weapon. It does 130 damage to the front and 160 damage to the back, which is a pretty average amount. But that amount gets bumped to 166 to the front and 196 to the back when the star card intensify is maxed out, which makes that damage pretty insane. Luke then does have a lower amount of stamina of only being able to attack 10 times and block 10 lightsaber attacks. But despite the bad stamina, he has a fast swing speed of 2.1 swings per second, which is also among the fastest in the game, allowing Luke to do damage really quickly. Luke has an amazing set of abilities in Battlefront 2. They are especially tailored for aggressive playing and that sit in the back and defend objectives. Each one of Luke's abilities are really useful and can help out in any situation unlike many other heroes. They are also pretty simple. They just do a lot of damage. They also don't have a lot of cons. Once you can master each of Luke's high damage abilities, you will start dominating. Luke's left ability is Push. Luke uses the Force to push people in front of him and knocking them down. It does 150 damage to non-heroes, which means it will one-shot all infantry except the heavy, and does 90 damage to heroes. It will push people back 10 meters, but that can be extended to 20 meters with star cards, and the range is about 15 to 20 meters I think, but that can also be extended using star cards. For my keynotes, jump when you use this ability. You can use it in mid-air, so use that to your advantage. It helps you out by making you less vulnerable, so you can take less damage, and it keeps you moving so you don't have to stand still during the push animation. After you push someone, it's possible to get a couple hits on them. Of course, you can push them into a wall and you'll be able to get in some hits, but that's not always possible. So when you're not next to a wall, if your enemy is right next to you, you can swing immediately as you push them, and if you time it right, you will lunge with them as they are pushed and you will get in a hit. If you can't do either of those things, then just use Rush and your dashes to catch up to your enemy. Luke's middle ability is Repulse. Luke sends a burst of force energy out from the ground, dealing damage and knocking down enemies nearby. It does 130 damage to non-heroes, so not enough to one-shot enemies, and 75 damage to heroes. But with Epicenter, the damage will be increased to 170 damage to non-heroes and 115 damage to heroes within half the range. Once again, I'm not entirely sure what the range is, but it's still about 10 to 15 meters, and it can be extended with star cards. It also has a cooldown of 17 seconds. For my keynotes, make sure to not use this ability in front of too many people, or at least make sure they are close enough to be hit by Repulse, because if you mess that up, then you will lose a lot of health. So if you're out in the open, it's likely to be dangerous. Against heroes, unlike Push, it's pretty easy to get in hits on enemies after you knock them down, so make sure to capitalize on that. Luke's right ability is Rush. Luke uses the Force to enhance his speed and quickly move in any direction while swinging his lightsaber. It does 100 damage to anyone it hits and can be used twice in quick succession. Each use has a cooldown of 5 seconds for a total of 10 seconds per full use. So while it doesn't one-shot enemies, you can use 2 of them quickly or do 1 rush then a quick lightsaber hit. The amount of uses can also go up to 3 with Starcards. For my keynotes, use this ability to quickly close the distance on people. So instead of running straight at someone, use Rush to not lose health and to get in extra damage. This can also be useful to escape combat since it helps you move quicker. Luke can be amazing and horrible in Trooper game modes. One moment you'll be racking up kills like crazy and destroying the other team, the next moment you'll lose all your health in an instant because you went into the wrong place. So once you learn how to play carefully, you'll improve a lot. But now for my tips. The first tips, as I've been saying, is not to get too cocky. This is something I still struggle with. I'll be getting some nice kills, then I'll go after a hero or a group of enemies because I think I can take them on, but then I can't. Luke simply doesn't have the health, stamina, and abilities to defend himself. So once you learn to pick and choose your battles and how to take on multiple enemies, you'll stay alive longer. To take on multiple enemies, you need to constantly be moving. That means constantly using Rush, your dodges, and using abilities to kill groups of enemies. And that's really the ideal way to play Luke, with a hit and run playstyle. Go in, get some kills, find some cover, then go back in. Other heroes don't need this. They can regen more health, they can attack and block for longer periods of time, and they have better abilities to defend themselves. So you can't have the comfortable playstyle such as others. That means constantly going in and out of cover and moving around as much as possible when facing enemies. To go along with this, you need to play on the front lines to do good. So it's something where you have to have a hit and run playstyle. There is no sitting at the back of the map. If Luke is at the back of the map, there's not much he can do to help. None of his abilities support his teammates, they are only focused on getting kills, and that's not going to be used to their full potential if you're not at the front lines. So if you're not going to be on the front lines and getting kills there, then pick a different hero. Luke is not what you want. Moving on to Star Cards, Luke is a bit unique in the fact that he has a really good lineup of Star Cards. The first one is Intensify. This card increases lightsaber damage with every certain amount of damage. This one is by far the most important one, because once you max it out, you will one-shot all infantry except heavies, which is a huge advantage. The next card is Epicenter. This card deals bonus damage within the inner half of Repulse's range. This also allows it to one-shot all infantries except heavies, which will help you get a lot more kills when you use Repulse. The last card is Jedi Reflexes, which gives Luke 1 extra dash, but the recharge for each dash is longer. The extra dash can be really helpful to get Luke moving around more. For me, those are the best cards, but there are other good cards such as Extended Push, Rush Immunity, and Jedi Reflexes. Luke is a hero that can do good on any map. He has good range with his abilities and is fast, making him good for open maps, and his crowd control abilities make him dominate on close range maps. The first map is Naboo. This is a map that is good for any hero, but Luke especially dominates. The second map is Death Star 2. It's pretty insane how many kills Luke can get on this map with his abilities. It's usually just multi-kill after multi-kill. Luke can also take out enemies quickly with only his lightsaber because of his high damage and fast swing speed. The last map is Kashyyyk, since it's like Naboo with lots of cover for Luke to go in and out of. Luke can do very well in HVV because of his high damage, but he has the same problems in HVV as GA. His health is a big weakness. Overall, Luke is better in GA because the health and stamina problems are brought out a lot more and are much more of a weakness against other heroes. My biggest tip is to use your abilities as much as possible and capitalize on them. Health isn't a problem if you've already killed your opponent, so make sure you are combining your rushes along with your repulse and push then regular attacks to do a lot of damage quickly. It's okay if you just chip away at your opponent's health too. Do whatever it takes to keep your health and minimize the chance of you being punished for a mistake. Luke can also be quite useful at coming to the rescue of teammates in hero game modes, since he can quickly travel to his teammate, then push people away or do heavy damage with his lightsabers. So next time you're playing against heroes, remember to back up your teammates since you can be so helpful. And being able to back up your teammates and stick together is extremely important for winning those close games. Now on to Star Cards. Since Luke has a very similar playstyle between hero and super game modes, the cards are pretty similar. The first card is Jedi Reflexes, since the extra dash is still super helpful. The next card is Jedi Fighter, which gives Luke extra stamina. Of course, extra stamina is always super helpful, which makes it a great card. The final card is Epicenter because the extra damage is good, plus it can go through blocks, making it so that it can stop opponents' health from regenerating. Once again, this is an even more subjective loadout for HVV than GA, so there are other good cards such as Intensify and Rush Immunity. The last thing I'll be going over today is heroes to watch out for. The first one is Vader. Vader can easily get you in choke the second you push, repulse, or rush, since you can't block during these abilities, so you have to be really careful about him. The next hero is Kylo Ren, since his push and pull can easily counter Luke's abilities. The third and final hero is going to be another lightsaber hero, Dooku, because he can easily parry Luke's abilities with Force Lightning and his high damage lightsaber attacks. It's super easy for him to do tons of damage if he can successfully time the parry. But that is all for my Luke Skywalker hero guide. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and it helped you out. If you did enjoy it, then make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more of these. Also, if you have any feedback, then you can always leave a comment. Whatever it is, I'll appreciate it. See you guys next time. Bye.